The anchor's a little bit, seems to be tied around a rock, so we might have to pull some maneuvers here.
Been sent a wake in here and it shot the back end of the boat up and then it slammed down and hit me in the top of the head.
We've been just wasting all of our money.
Really weird smell coming out of the engine compartment. I hope nothing's on fire.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sailing GBU. Today we are at Jos Van Dyke, or Joost.
Joost.
I did it again. We are at Jos Van Dyke and we are going to one of the top popular spots of all BVI. I think most people want to go here. Most people do go here. We are going to White Bay. White Bay is one of the top beaches, is what they say. I can't wait to see for myself, but it's one of the top beaches. Everyone goes there. Tons of beach bars. They even have the famous Soggy Dollar bar that you know we were going to have to hit up. Everyone says, have you been to Soggy Dollar? And we haven't yet, so we are hitting that up today. And also, we got more coming this episode because Matt got something really special to put on the boat that it hopefully is going to upgrade our boat to a whole new level that we should have done probably years ago.
Yeah, I try to be ratchet and make my boat as ghetto gangster as I possibly can, but slowly things are building up and we're doing it the proper way. And I'm excited to go to White Bay because I haven't been, like, this is a world's #1 beach, and this is only like the 20th or 30th world's #1 beach that I've been to since I started sailing.
Don't listen to him.
Whoever's on that committee being pretty, generic with the world's best
We'll
beach.
all get to see in a few minutes, so let's go. It's a beautiful day out, but there is a little bit of splashiness, so we're going to sit on the same side of the dinghy.
Yeah, that's a nautical term. It's called splashiness. What would you say on the splashiness scale? We call that the K scale. What's the splashiness rating for today?
Not bad.
Okay.
This water is amazing. It is Bahamas water, clearest pool water. I can't even believe it. So far, I'm giving this place 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
10 out of 10 so far, and I haven't even got off the dinghy. So we're heading in. There's a ton of beach bars here, a ton of seats, a ton of people, and it's pretty awesome. The boats are really packed in here, so makes me nervous since some of these are like charter boats and that just seems nerve-wracking, but luckily our boat's not parked here.
Just a dinger.
You know we had to get the painkillers at the Soggy Dollar bar. Let's see how good they are. This is good, refreshing.
It's really good. I could drink like probably 100 of these. I've been trying not to drink as much lately, but I think today I'm gonna fall off the wagon for sure. Trading in my 30-day chip. It's good. I got the vanilla one, and I think it does add a little sweetness to it. Here, you try mine. Yeah, I like mine better than the original.
Oh yeah, yours is good. We're only one drink in. Soggy Dollar bar is pretty cool, and I had to cop myself some merch from Soggy Dollar bar. So I got a cool trucker hat, I'll show it to you guys later.
Yeah, and she needs to change her hat because I've been looking at her shadow walking down the beach, and I keep thinking I'm walking next to Slash from Guns N' Roses.
Don't hate on my hats.
All right, so we just hit up the svdeaddolphin, and we get in a little bit of turn up, and we decided to walk down the beach, and there's this rocky path to go over to the other beachside bars, and probably drunk people probably fall down it all the time, but I'm not that turned yet, so I think we can traverse it peacefully and safely. But yeah, let's go. Let's see what's on the other side. And now that I'm climbing up over and traversing these plains, it reminds me of a quote by Marcus Aurelius, I believe. He said, "It's not about how fast we get there, and it's not about what's waiting on the other side, but it's the climb." And I always try to live by that saying.
What the hell are you talking about?
So I just saw that sign and it said, "Caution, you're now entering a stress-free zone." And I said, if you want to stress people out, say caution right away. So not great marketing. Hope the drinks are better than the marketing team. I would have cut that one on the floor.
All right, we had one drink at Ivan's stress-free bar. It's a pretty chill bar.
It was so stress-free, we forgot to even film the drinks.
It's away from all of the crowds, so if that's more your style, I think it's a pretty cool bar.
Wasn't bad, I liked it.
We're heading into Hendo's hideout. We're gonna try to get some lunch and we're gonna see what it's gonna be about. Everyone says this is the best food at the bay, so we're gonna test it out.
We're gonna see.
So as you know, on this channel, we got the worst, ugliest prop in the game. We got a brand new engine last year. We put it all in. We did all the work, and we had to put that old stanky prop on there. We went back and forth, tried to find a few props, and we could never really find the right fit. But luckily, our dogs from AB Marine, they reached out to us. They said, hey man, look, we'll walk you through this prop process. We can get a good prop for you. We can get the right thing that's going to help you sail faster and help you motor faster. And I said, this boat's too old and fat. She's a fat girl. She don't go too fast. And he said, trust me, get the right prop on. That boat's going to be zipping through the water. So they hooked us up with this beast right here, the gory folding 3-blade prop. And I got to say, I haven't put this thing on yet, but from the reading that I've done with it, and just looking at it, taking it apart, putting it back together, this seems like a pretty high-tech piece of boating machinery. And not only did they send us that awesome prop, they also sent us this because they know that we're in Bing Bong fish trap heaven of the Caribbean. They sent us this baller shaft shark. What this thing does is it goes on the shaft just in front of the propeller, and if you do catch a shrimp trap or a lobster pot, this thing saws through all the ropes so it doesn't bind up your engine and stall you out and mess up everything. So this thing is, I'm excited for it. It's definitely like a gangster Chinese star. It's very sharp, I can already feel, so I'm gonna be cautious with this. So the boys at AB Marine made it easy for me. Basically the whole prop where the blades spin in and out, that comes all together, and then there's just a assembly that goes on my prop that then I attach it all together. So it should be pretty easy for me. I think it's like 6 screws, maybe plus 3 set screws, and then 1 nut for the back. So
that's not easy when you're underwater, Matt.
It's not going to be easy. It would
You
be a lot,
said it was going to be pretty easy.
well, it'd be a lot better if I had the boat out. Then you could take time and do things like a little more perfectly. But I think it's going to still work out well underwater. Only difference is I got to hold my breath. And hopefully we're moored in about 25, 30 feet of water right here. So hopefully I don't drop anything because I'll have to go way down there to get it and it'll be harder to find. But either way. All right, so simply let's get into how this thing gets installed. So the zinc comes here. That comes off simply. And this cap cone on the screws. That's what basically holds the whole thing on later. And then you have this. Now this is what slides over your shaft. There's a taper that starts at 1 inch, tapers down. You basically slide that onto your shaft. Nut on, screw that bad boy on with a socket, get it in nice and tight. Then you put your set screws that lock that into place. Then this slides on. The cap comes back through, tightens it down. Then you put in all your screws and then you're going to be good to go. So hopefully it should be pretty quick and painless. First stage in this party is I have to go get in the water, get that old ugly prop. The old, I don't want to be mean about my old prop though. The old girl did get, we got some miles with the old girl, so we can't be too mean to her. But we're going to get the old one off and then clean up the prop, prepare that prop prep for the new prop. Prop shaft prep for the new prop.
So right off rip, I want to give everybody a pro tip. If you're going to be doing any work under the water line, replacing a prop or dealing with zincs or anything like that, do yourself a big favor, clean up the underwater area and prep it, because you can see these sea anemones and sea grasses and all sorts of sea creatures still living in my work area, and they were stinging me the entire time. The next day I woke up fully mugged and measled out with bumps all over me. So I decided to, since I knew this was going to be a tight fit, I really wanted to take extra time to prep everything before I dry fit it on my shaft sleeve. And that worked out really, really well. Everything fit perfectly snug, and I'm going to get the most out of my prop now. So you can see me here with my trusty dusty stubby. This is a wrench that I had to cut back in the boat refit, and I decided to use this underwater because this tool is going to be sacrificed. It's never going to work again. I tried to put it in an oil bag, but it didn't work. So if you guys got some tips to bring back a saltwater wrench, please let me know. I was putting in my set screws here, and you can see that it was a pretty tight little space, and I was terrified that I was going to drop one of these set screws 30 feet down and lose it in the sediment below. There's no way I would have been able to find it, and there's no way I would have been able to find a replacement at any of the stores around here. So it was pretty stressful, pretty nerve-wracking down here. We got her nice and tight though, and everything was looking good. So now we're about 75% done with the install. I'm sliding on my cap cone, but this is where things got tough. I had to really hulk down here. I had to really squeeze extra hard to get this last little bit tight. It's a super precision part that these little set screws sit in, so you have to get it perfect. I had to hold my breath, and that's one thing about working on a boat is you have to hold your breath when you have no scuba equipment. It wasn't too bad, but it was a pretty hostile environment. Boats were going by and there was tons of wake, and obviously the depth had me put off a little bit as well, but you'll hear a story about what the wake did to me later on. It was pretty funny actually. Let's say it was a literal headache. This was the most nerve-wracking part. You can see how small that set screw is, and you had to get it in there perfect, and I was just so worried that I was going to drop it and one of the fish swimming around me was going to swallow it halfway down and then I'd never get it. So I was really happy with how it came out. I have clearance from my rudder, so it doesn't have to hit that. It has tons of clearance when it's actually running like here, but even when it's folded in, it's not going to hit. That would have been something I was worried about. And it's beautiful. Look at that swirl of bubbles.
All right, Alright, so I got the prop on, but as you can see, it's busy out here. A big old diddy boat went by, unbeknownst to me, then sent a wake in here, and it shot the back end of the boat up, and then it slammed down and hit me in the top of the head. So I got a little bit of blood, you know. I should have cleaned the bottom before I started this, because I got all eaten up by barnacles and stuff too. But oh well, we're done with it, and it's working, and I think it's going to be really nice. Alright, now it's time for me to put on the shaft shark.
The prop is on. It looks cool. It seems to be working, but we are going to now put it to the test. We are going to motor to Little Yost, and it's a small trip, so if anything bad happens, we can save ourselves from bad things happening. I'm nervous because it's a lot heavier, and I know, you know, things could go bad, and you don't want things to go bad down there, so...
Don't want things to go bad down there, guys. Any hoodles. Yeah, I mean, it's a much bigger prop. It's going to obviously take a lot more for the engine to push it because it's going to be pushing more water. So there's going to be more resistance. So I'm a little bit nervous to see how it goes. And obviously I installed it underwater, something I would have much rather been doing above water with all the right tools and stuff. But obviously GBU style, I had to get it done, get the job done. So yeah, I'm excited to see how it works. Obviously there's always a little voice in the back of your head that says, you don't know what you're doing. You didn't know. You did it wrong. You made a mistake. So that guy's got to shut up for the next hour or so while we get over there and test it out. But real quick, can y'all tell me who's got a cooler hat, me or Kristen?
I just popped off at this at $70.
We've been arguing about this all day. She will not shut up about how much this hat is. She's
so cool. I told her he's so jealous.
She's making fun of me. She's like, you're just jealous because of my spike. I'm like, bro, my hat's even like cooler than yours. So settle it in the debate below. Please let us know who's got the cooler hat.
Alright, so the anchor's a little bit, seems to be tied around a rock, so we might have to pull some maneuvers here. I'm going to be on the helm, and Matt's going to be pulling up the anchor chain, because as you know, we don't have a windlass, so let's get it done. Here we go, ready? So we're off, and I can already hear that the prop is a little bit louder than the old one. I'm not sure why, maybe because it's heavier, but it also seems a lot more powerful. First initial thoughts?
Seems a lot smoother too. When you're holding the wheel, you don't feel like as much vibration. Like it's a lot. The boats feel like it's like moving around, I guess. Like the doors aren't rattling inside like they normally do, so it's a lot smoother.
So what I've noticed so far is there's definitely much more power with this prop. If you throttle it up, it'll actually jump the boat a little bit, which the old prop definitely would not do. It was definitely a slow meandering up every time. With the conditions today that are straight in our face, similar conditions we had a week or two ago, and with our old prop we were only getting like 2.7, 3.2 knots, like full throttle. With the new prop, I'm noticing with 2,600 RPMs, which is like, you know, 3/4 throttle, we're getting 4.7 to like 5 knots. So we're getting whole speed with a lower throttle. So we're getting more speed with less throttle, which I'm really happy about because it's going to help me not only get somewhere faster, but also save fuel, which is important. And you know, the boat's just a lot more responsive. Overall, it's only been about 30 minutes of running this new prop, but I gotta say, I'm in love with it. So one thing that's really cool about this prop is that it has like an overdrive function. Being that it is a folding blade, the blades can move, and it's not like a fixed prop where your pitch is just set and you're stuck with what you're stuck with. This one has a regular forward, but if you put it in reverse, the blades switch around and it gives you a different leading edge, and that sharper leading edge is supposed to give you more water flow. So what I'm gonna do is engage that now and put it up to the same RPMs, and after a minute or two, see if I'm actually getting more speed at the same RPM.
Okay, so we got the overdrive going and instantly feels like way more power. I feel like we're going at 5 bajillion miles an hour, but I'm not sure. How much faster are we going?
No, it definitely jumped up a half a knot for sure, just by switching the prop. My bottom's a little dirty, so all these readings are a little bit like lower than I think they would be. I think my hull speed, like max hull speed on this thing's only like 6 knots anyway. It can get a little higher if you're going down waves and stuff like that. But yeah, you can certainly feel the power. It makes a big difference. It makes a little bit of a different noise, different hum with the prop.
Yeah, it almost sounds like we're in like a motorboat.
Oh yeah, and it's for sure going faster with the same RPM. So not exactly sure how that would work on the fuel burn, since it is pushing more water, but the RPM is lower on the engine. But yeah, it jumped up a half a knot immediately. So that's pretty good. So I hate to be a hater, but thanks to our new Bory prop, we just ran down. Now he's sailing, but he on a catamaran, and it's the first time we was ever going to pass a catamaran in the history of GBU Enterprises. So I got to say, I'm pretty impressed with this prop. I'm hyped. Really weird smell coming out of my engine. It almost sounds like something like smoking. Really weird smell coming out of the engine compartment. I hope nothing's on fire.
I'm not sure what it is, but I do smell something a little bit. We're trying not to worry about it too much. I think Matt thinks it's just the engine, the temperature heats up a little bit more, but I'm surely hoping it's not anything bad.
I got this hack that I've been using lately, and it's been working really well for me because the water's crystal clear here. What I do when I pull up to a spot that I want to anchor, I do like a tight donut, and what it does is it slicks off the area right behind the boat so you can see all the way to the bottom, and you can see whether it's coral, sand, rocky, muddy, grassy, and it's been working really, really well for me, and I've been really, really hyped about it because a lot of times you see people come up, just put the anchor down, and then you're dragging and you're like, oh no, what's happening? Or they have like a looky bucket, which is like a bucket with a glass piece at the bottom where you can see down into there. But I think that this way works a lot better, and you can just use your boat as a looky bucket. Alright, so I feel like something bad might have happened.
What do you mean? What happened?
I was backing up, and when I back up that one time a couple weeks ago, how our prop shaft came out, I was backing down again and backing up. We're staying in one place, so now the prop is wanting to, once the anchor sets, the prop is wanting to pull away from the boat. And then I heard like a dig it, like an impacting sound. And what I'm thinking is that maybe the prop pulled back and started hitting my rudder, which, dear God, I hope that did not happen. Because if it did, it screwed up the prop for sure and the rudder. So I gotta get in the water and check that out. Fingers crossed. Whew. Everything's clear. Something bushes just fell down with the lines right that made that crazy noise. Alright, I'm gonna check the anchor while I'm in here.
Thank God what Matt thought happened did not happen. Sometimes he does that. He doesn't trust his own work, and then he starts thinking about something that bad could happen, and then he obviously jumps to conclusions and thinks that it did happen. But it did not, thank God. But seems like the new prop is working well. We did smell that burning smell, and we still aren't 100% on what exactly that is. But the main thing that is really making me mad is that clearly by not getting a new prop sooner, we've been just wasting all of our money. All right, we're anchored here in our favorite beautiful spot.
Everything's perfect. The prop did its job backing us down. And I freaked out for no reason on that. We don't have to worry about it at all. But my main thing that I should be freaking out is how much money I probably wasted across the course of my sailing career. I've wasted too much money. And as we all know, time is money. So that's even more money that I wasted because, a boat that you can't motor around and get from A to B on and you really have to sail, that's for the birds. Nobody really be sailing like that. So I wasted my life, wasted my time, and wasted my money when I could have just had a great engine and a great prop and been zipping around.
What he's trying to say, a long story short, is we've been wasting our money on diesel. Obviously, it takes harder RPM to run a smaller, worse prop, so we've been putting in more diesel to get from A to B than we are now when we go faster with lower RPMs with a new prop. So all the people in the comments have been telling us we've been idiots. They're right. We have been being idiots.
I don't know if we're idiots, but we were definitely swimming upstream. It's just, nobody wants to spend that money. But if you don't spend the money, you're going to spend the money. Either way. You can spend it on a prop, you can spend it on diesel. There's no way, you ain't escaping a diesel, man.
So if you guys have been eyeing a folding prop, or if you're in the spot where you think I probably need to get a new one, check out the links down below for AB Marine. They helped you out a lot, right?
Yeah, AB Marine was my dogs. They have a ton of products. The people were really, really helpful as well. They really satisfied my needs because I had a lot of questions. And get your head out of the gutter.
You said that.
Get your head out of the gutter.
Satisfied your needs. I don't think they're going to be very happy that you said that.
I'm just saying, they're going to bring you to satisfaction if you deal any dealings with them. But yeah, I had a ton of questions because I didn't know how to put this together, and it looked pretty complicated. And then even operating it, I was like, oh, it kind of lowered my RPMs here, and then this happened, that happened. But they were real quick to be like, yeah, the reason, because... Funny story, when I was backing up, I could see that because it's a folding prop, it kind of stayed out like this when I was trying to pull the anchor, and the blades didn't come completely out. They stayed like that. And I was like, maybe that's like the way they designed it to get like full thrust. So I called the guy up, and he's like, yeah. He said, where are you at? Are you tied to the dock? Are you at an anchor? And I said, no, I'm backing down on my anchor. And he's like, okay, well, are you moving backwards, or are you just pulling on the anchor chain? And I said, well, pretty much pulling the anchor chain, not really moving. He said, yeah. If you're moving backwards, the water needs to push this way to open up the prop. He said, so if you weren't anchoring and you were just driving backwards, the prop would be fully open. And I was like, oh, duh. So yeah, they're a lot smarter than we are. They can help you out. We got a link below for AB Marine, so check them out. They got a bunch of cool stuff over there, and they helped me build my dreams.
Anyways, on other big GBU news, we have been talking and making big plans for the GBU universe. If you want to get in on what's happening for our big plans, big announcements on our channel, make sure you check out Patreon. And just to give you a little bit of a hint, we are going to be doing something else on our channel, which will equal us being able to do a Patreon meetup with our Patreons. So in the US.
Yeah, the Patreon pals are always the first to know. They're one of the most important things in the GB universe. So over there, we're going to do something big this year, this summer, and it should be a lot of fun. and hopefully everyone that's interested gets to partake in it.
So if you want to hang out with us and have a good time, make sure you check out our Patreon, and we'll see you guys next week, right?
Yeah, I'll be here next week. Hopefully you guys show up too.
Turnip Tina and Crab Like Carl will be at that meetup.
Bro, we're gonna be
Turnip Tina.
We're gonna be meeting up with the homies, and if
I don't know what that was.
If you want to come meet me from the homies, the Patreon pals, if you don't bring crab legs,
I don't know why I thought you were going to say crab.
Maybe we could beat up like a crab leg spot, and I'll challenge any one of my dogs to a crab leg eat off.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'll do it.
It could be going down, guys. Bye, guys.